ever think about being famous or just getting something you really want as if it's gonna fix everything? It's gonna be some easy way to take care of everything. If you're only famous, then that'll be it. That is the end all and the be all. So a friend of mine, she was supposed to be on a famous show, and in her mind, that was it. And she was so excited about it. And anyway, she called me devastated because she was canceled from being on the show and no explanation was given. And of course, she's disappointed. But I wanted to work through it with her because I wanted to see what was behind all of it. Really, when you look at what was that going to do, being famous or being on a famous show or something like that, what are you trying to get out of it? And so first I wanted to see what was behind the disappointment, and what's behind it is feeling like she's not enough, which I totally get. I mean, who of us doesn't understand or relate to that? Like, I'm not enough. For me, it would be like, oh, they found out who I really am. And they're like, oh, I don't want her. That would be me. And then I was like, okay, do a gratitude list just to get out of that and give some equal vibrational energy to, like, of course you're enough. And of course you're great, because she is great. She's an amazing person. And that vehicle for what she's wanting in her life isn't even the right one. But that doesn't matter because we have our feelings. And what she's trying to build and create and do, because she's incredibly amazing and she knows a gazillion famous people. So that's not even it. So it's the feelings. And to think that being famous or being on something famous is going to fix it or create what we want to create, it's not. So I want to talk about how we get beyond those limiting beliefs or those ideas that being famous or being with someone famous or any of that is going to somehow do it for us. Because even famous people, there's somebody more famous or there's somebody with more. And what we focus on grows. So there's simple, easy tools to get exactly what it is that you want. And you don't have to be famous. And that's not going to fix anything. There's always something more. And if you're focusing on the lack, then that's what you're going to see. So there's 3 easy steps that you can do. And I've just kind of mentioned a couple of them anyway. So focusing on number 1, when wanting something quick and easy, or for me, it's like, oh, they must have so much help. They must have it so much easier. They know people. They got there so fast. They didn't. There's no way they did. So look at when we're disappointed, or for me, if I'm jealous of somebody, I take that as a sign. Oh, that's something that I want. I now use that information as a way to see that that's clearly something that I want to do. And I get to use that information now. So if there's something that you want, take a look at what's underneath. When I'm disappointed, or if there's something I really want to do, what's underneath that? Why do I want that? And so that's what I did with my friend. First, she wrote a gratitude list. So just to give the vibrational energy, instead of looking at the lack and I'm not good enough and all that, to look at everything that you're grateful for. Whatever you're grateful for, you have in your life right now. So that gives equal weight to I'm not enough. No, you are enough. And you have all these amazing qualities and all these things you can do right now. And so to take a look at those gives equal weight and even greater weight to you're great and you have all these amazing, wonderful things. And you can get back to that joy and the gratitude and your authentic self, because that's the truth. And then what's underneath that? What is it that you really want? What brings you joy? What is it that you want to do? What were you hoping to get out of being, when you think about being famous or doing that thing? What are you hoping to get out of it? What's underneath? You can just free write. What am I hoping to get from being famous or being with someone famous? Is it accolades? Is it that your ego needs a boost? Okay, what's behind that? If my ego gets a boost, then I feel good about myself. I feel like I'm somebody. Think about that. Then you know, oh, I'm not feeling good about myself. And then there's things, see, when you know that, then you can take action and go, oh, my self esteem needs some help. Then you can do things like look in the mirror and say, I love you. I am a worthy person. I'm a great person. And do those esteemable acts. It's by doing esteemable acts that we get self esteem. It's by walking through our fears that you get self esteem and you can show other people, oh, it's okay. I recognize my fear. I'm walking through it. And you can show other people, and it's how you get confidence and stop being afraid to take those next future small steps and actions. And that's how you get self esteem. And looking in the mirror and looking people in the face and doing those things that you're afraid of. That's how you get self esteem. So, and if it's somebody that is in the limelight and you want to be in the limelight, find out how they went about doing it. You can do it too. And the second thing is to focus on the good. There is so much good about you. Instead of focusing on the lack, there is so much that you have right now, and focusing on that and how and on what it is that you want to achieve. I just read a thing about Jim Carrey had absolutely nothing, and he wrote himself a check for 10 years in the future for whatever it was. And he kept seeing himself as a successful comedian in the future. And that's all he focused on. Focus on what it is that you really want in your future. If it's and use that person as a mentor. Even if they're your mentor. See how they got to where they are. People want to help you. They really do. So call people, say, how did you get to where you are? You don't have to invent the wheel. People want to help. If the person you contact doesn't want to, find somebody who does. There are so many that will help you get to where it is you want to go. You want to be on podcasts? There are so many ways to find out how to be on a podcast. Do you want to be on a show? Do you want to be on whatever it is? Do you want to write a book? There are so many ways to find out how to write a book. And you can get in a group and write a book together. Do you want to find your soulmate? There are so many ways to find out how to find your soulmate. You don't have to settle in any area of your life. If you want to start your own business instead of working for somebody else and having no life, there are so many ways to find out how to do that. And that's a good segue into the third item. What is it that you really want? What fills you with joy? What is the underlying thing that you want? Is it that you want to make a lot of money because that will give you freedom and that you can then go and enjoy your life and laugh with your friends? Just laugh from the gut, like I talk about in the beginning of the episode, and breathe and just be in nature, whatever it is that you enjoy. Is that what you want to do? What is it that you want? You want to just read books or get out and enjoy sports or go and see the world and travel? Whatever it is that you really want to do, you can do it. You just need to get clarity on what it is that you want to do. So my friend who was so disappointed because she got really caught up in the fact that she was supposed to be on a show with somebody because they were famous. And it ends up that they aren't that amazing anyway. And they aren't that famous. And fame is fleeting. So what's it mean anyway? I mean, Andy Warhol's 15 minutes. Anybody can be famous for 15 minutes. So what? It's what's important to you. What is your authentic self? What is it that you really want? We can reimagine ourselves. We can make ourselves into anything we want. We all have our own unique handprint. I've turned myself I was an alcoholic drug addict and turned that around and got an education, became an attorney, and now I'm a podcaster, and we can do anything. We can turn our lives around. If you can see it, you can be it. That's what Angela Manuel Davis always says. So what we focus on grows. The neuroplasticity of our brain, the more we see things, the more our brains are malleable. Science proves that. And so the more that you focus on what it is that you really want, and again, you don't have to invent the wheel. You can see how other people have done what it is that you really want to do. If you want to be famous, that's great. You can do that. you can do whatever it is that you really want to do, as long as you're willing to just put in that footwork. It's not as easy as just going on a show. And then if you see it that way and you think that's going to be a fix, it's really important then to see. And I so relate to it. I was like, oh, I just want to be on some famous podcast, talk about my podcast, and then my podcast will be the number one podcast. It doesn't work that way. That's what I thought in the beginning. Here I am 200 some episodes in, and I'm like, no, I know how to do this. And if you want to know, by the way, how to do a podcast and do it the right way, I will show you absolutely how to do it. We meet once a month and we talk about how to start a podcast, and it's more about accountability and just we just all talk about it. And you are so welcome to join us. And if you want to start dating or write a book, it's not about just podcasting. It's about accountability partners. We just stay accountable to each other, and it's great, and it's a safe space to do that. I am a huge believer in being accountable to each other. So just send me a note and I will let you know. We just get on Zoom and we everybody shares about what they're doing, and we say out loud what we're staying accountable for till the next meeting, and we help each other. So it's a great thing to do. But again, back to that famous thing. So if you're thinking, I want to be famous for this, and this is an easy way to get to X, Y, or Z, it's very important to look at the underlying thing that you want, because there's something underlying that. And you can get there, and it's great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just to look at what it is underlying that. And hopefully these tips will help you to get there and help you look at what it is that you really want. And you're going to have all of it and more, so much more. I mean, the sky's the limit here, and it's all part of our evolution and our growth and our high vibrating community here at 52 Weeks of Hope.